All right, let's get right into it. We all know forklifts are the absolute workhorses of any operation, right? But, too often we just kind of wait for them to completely break down before we even think about a replacement. In this explainer, we're going to flip that script. We're moving away from that reactive fix-it-when-it's-broken mindset and into a much smarter, proactive health check for your most critical gear.
So let's just start with the one big question you've got to ask yourself. Right now, is your forklift a dependable asset that's making you money, or is it a ticking liability just waiting for the worst moment to cost you? How you answer that is a much bigger deal than you might think.
Because look, when a forklift goes down out of the blue, the damage goes way, way beyond just the machine itself. It's a total chain reaction. Work grinds to a halt, orders get delayed, and your team's just left standing around. That's a direct hit to your bottom line, your schedule, and yeah, even your reputation with the clients who count on you. The stakes here are incredibly high. To avoid all that chaos, we have to get proactive. So, for our first section, we're going to act like doctors. We're starting by checking the vital signs. These are the hard, cold, objective numbers that really tell the true story of your machine's health. And when we say vital signs, we're talking about the data points that just don't lie. Think of these as the blood pressure and the heart rate of your forklift. These are the core objective numbers that give us a really clear baseline of its history and its current condition. So the first big number you've got to watch is 10,000. The general rule of thumb in the industry is that once a forklift hits 10,000 operating hours, it's time to start paying very close attention. This is a huge milestone where the risk of major, costly problems starts to climb pretty steeply. But that 10,000-hour mark, it's not some magic expiration date. I mean, a really high-end machine might push all the way to 20,000 hours. And an electric model is going to age differently than an internal combustion one. The crucial point here is to use 10,000 hours as your trigger, your signal, to start looking at each machine on a case-by-case basis. Okay, the next vital sign is 95%. This is the industry benchmark for what's called availability. Basically, that just means your forklifts should be ready to work at least 95% of the time. If your machine's downtime is consistently creeping above that 5% mark, that's not just an inconvenience. It's a massive red flag that your machine is becoming unreliable. So after looking at those big, lifetime numbers, we need to zoom in. We need to look at how the machine is actually performing day in and day out. This is where you're going to spot those subtle, little declines that almost always come before a major failure.
So what should you be tracking? Well, think about things like your maintenance costs. Are they slowly creeping up? What about loading speeds? Are they getting just a little bit slower? Is the lift capacity not quite what it used to be? A dip in any one of these key performance indicators is a super clear symptom of an aging machine that's struggling to keep up.
And let's talk about a KPI that hits you directly in the wallet: energy costs. An older combustion engine just naturally gets less efficient over time, burning more and more fuel to do the exact same job. Now, compare that to modern electric models, which can be up to 30% more energy efficient. That's not a small number. That's a huge operational saving that can help justify the cost of an upgrade all by itself. Okay, so we've checked the vitals and we've reviewed the daily performance. For our third section, we need to look to the future. Is your forklift actually fit for where your business is going, not just where it is today? This is a big one. Technology in this space is moving so fast. We're talking about things like advanced safety ergonomics, IoT sensors for telematics, and these really sophisticated fleet management systems that can completely revolutionize your efficiency. If you're holding on to an old machine, you're not just missing out on features. You're missing out on a serious competitive advantage. And what happens when that older tech breaks? Well, in the early years, replacement parts are pretty easy to find. But as a model gets older, past that 10-year mark, those same parts become scarce and super expensive. This leads to much longer downtimes while your team is hunting for them, which means the cost of a repair is no longer just parts and labor, it's the massive cost of waiting. And finally, ask yourself, has the job itself actually changed? Maybe you landed a new contract that has heavier loads, or maybe you reconfigured your warehouse with narrower aisles. Your business evolves and your equipment has to evolve with it. A forklift that was absolutely perfect 5 years ago might just be the wrong tool for the job today.
So let's bring it all together now. We've looked at the vitals, the performance, and the future fitness. In our final section, we're going to put all this info together so you can make an informed, confident call on your equipment's future.
And here's how it all comes together in one simple 7-point diagnostic checklist. Each cue that we've talked about points to a really clear action. So if your machine is nearing 10,000 hours, your action is to begin close monitoring. If availability drops below 95%, it's time to dig into those repair reports. If performance is slipping, see how it stacks up against the newer models. This checklist is designed to turn a gut feeling into a real, data-driven decision, giving you a clear path forward.
So we'll end where we began, but with a completely new perspective. You've seen the 7 key signs, you have the diagnostic tools. Now, I want you to take a hard look at your own operation. What is your fleet telling you? The answer could be the key to a safer, more efficient, and, yeah, a much more profitable future.